Hi friends, today in this video we are going to discuss about creating a button and displaying some text when the button is clicked. So this we are going to do using Android Studio version 3.1.3 and let's begin. So I am starting with a new Android Studio project and we can enter any application name here. Button application for example, and we click on next. So here we select what version of Android needs to be used. So here we can select version 4.0.3 ice cream sandwich and we can click on next. So in this window we can choose what kind of template we need, for example basic template or a bottom navigation activity or an empty activity template. So we can select empty activity template, and here we can give the name which will be displayed on the screen. Like for example we can give it as button application, button app, and we can click on finish. So now the Android Studio will open the project. Now the project has loaded and we got two files, .java file and .xml file is open. So as you know, this .java file is used for doing the codings and all, and we'll write all the codings here. And then in this XML file we'll be doing this designing, where the button should come, where the text should be displayed. So all those things we'll be doing in this activity button app.xml. So here you can see it is displayed into two. So either we can do it in the command line or we can directly just design by using the GUIs. And now let us add one text box. So here we can display something. We can display as a welcome page, and then we can, after the button is clicked, we can again display some other text here. So before doing this, what we can do is we can remove the default ones. Let me delete and let me add it again. So I'm deleting all the previous added text boxes which will be by default, which will be loaded by the Android Studio. So those are deleted, and now I'm adding a text box here. So now we got the text box added, and we can give one ID for it. So this ID we'll be using it in the Java. So for example text box ID, we can give this as ID, and we can type some welcome text here. Welcome to Android. So this text will be displayed in the beginning, and now we can add a button. So we can just click the button and we can drag and drop it. So now we got the button added, and for button we need to give one ID. So we can give it as button ID. Button ID, and on top of the button what needs to be displayed, for example click me or something, anything we can type it here. For example we can type it here, click me. So this text will be appearing on the button. So the design is completed. So we have added one text box where the text will be displayed, and we have added one button. So now we will link this text box button in the Java. So it is very simple. We can do it in 3 steps. The first step is to create 2 variables, one for text and another for button. So first step is create two variables. One is for text and one for button. So this is the step 1. So how we are going to do is, it is simple. Text view, and we can give the variable name, for example my text. So this is the variable which we are using, and similarly we'll create one variable for button. So that is button, and we can give it a name, for example my button. So our step 1 is completed. Now we are going to the step 2. Step 2 is where we link this created variables to the IDs which we created in the during the designing time. So now we can link it both. So step 2, is link created variables with the reference IDs. So this is going to be our step 2. So it is very simple. Here we have used my text. So here we are going to link it. So my text equal to, we are going to call what method is used. So it is using text view method. So we can call this text view method, text view method, and now we have to link it to the reference ID. So the reference ID we can get it using the find view by ID. So find view ID r.id, and here we have to select the ID. So we have given the reference ID for text box as text box ID. So this is it. So we can select this text box ID, and similarly for button we can do the link. So my button equal to, here we call the method is button, and find view by ID and r.id. So what is the button ID? So we have to select from this drop down, and it is button ID. So now we have linked the variables with the reference IDs. So the third step is, we have to create one function, like when the button is clicked, what action needs to be done. So that we are going to do in third step. So third step is create action for button click. So here we are going to use a function method called as onClick listener. So my button equal to, it is my button dot set onClick listener new view onClick listener. So now here we got this method added. So in the step 3 we are going to define an action, what needs to be done when the button is clicked. So for that we are using this onClick listener, and this is the method which we are using it. So what action needs to be done, so that we are going to define it over here. So it can be any kind of action. For example, here we can create an action to display some text. So here we are using my text as the variable. So we can define my text dot set text. So here we can type whatever we want, and it can be displayed on the screen. So for example, we can type as button is clicked. So that's all the coding parts, my friend. So here basically we have done 3 steps. So in the first step, we have created the variables, and in the second step, we have linked the variables with the reference IDs, and in the third step, we have defined what action needs to be done. So for that, we have used on-click listener, and in the method we have defined the text needs to be displayed. So now we can run the project and we can see how the text is being displayed in the Android screen. So we can click here to run the project. So this is the virtual Android device which is available. So friends, now the virtual device is loaded, and we got welcome to Android in the welcome screen, which we have defined during the designing, and the button is added with text click me. So this is what we added in this java.xml. So here we can see, so here we have written click me, and in the welcome screen we have written as welcome to Android, which is same as here, welcome to Android and click me. So now we can click on this button and we can see what is happening. So if we clicked on it, so now our text got changed, the button is clicked. So it is pretty simple, like we are in 3 steps. We have created a button and we have added an action to display some other text once the button is clicked. So similarly, we can define multiple actions or different kind of actions on the button click event. So those things and the details about and the details of these things we can discuss in the upcoming videos. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe to this channel so that you can get information on the upcoming videos.